All right, I'm trying this for a second time. I'm looking at the... I don't have a second monitor. This sucks. So it's kind of difficult for me to see if this thing is working or not. I'm using my iPhone as a second monitor at the moment. But I think I will need to get a monitor or an iPad or something to use it as a second monitor to be able to see what's going on. All right, let's give it a try. If someone joins, hopefully they're gonna let me know if there's an issue happening or not. But I'm just moving my hands here and I can see them moving on my phone. So it seems to be working fine. All right, let's continue where we left off then. Where was it? The skitty-notes video. Yeah, it seems to be working fine. Okay, so let's go here to videos. Look for skitty-notes. Where is it? This is the one. It's done. Okay, I'm probably going to delete the old stream because it was a complete and utter failure. Matter of fact, let's do that right now. Where is it? We go to content. It's this one here. The delay was absolutely way too much. And it's just trash. I just deleted that one. And this is the one that we're on right now. Because I'm confused because I see this upcoming and it's scheduled, but I'm live now, so I don't know what the fuck is going on here. Let's see. Okay. So seems to be working now. Let's see what folks say. Hold on. Not in the right one. Not in the right chat. Which one is the one then? This one? Yes, this is the one then. Let's see. Okay. Is it Jamie? James? I don't know. I'm not saying that right. But hopefully you can hear me. So just let me know if it does not work, if it works, or what's happening. Let's start from the beginning, of course. I started creating this blog post. Well, there's a lot of videos that I have that don't have an article. If you can see here, thanks for confirming, James. Sorry. So I do have a lot of videos that don't have a blog post, and I want to create a blog post for them because not everyone is into watching videos, right? So, and sometimes you just don't want to watch a video again. You just would like to read through something, copy and paste the commands, right? So many of my videos do not have a blog post. I'm just going to be creating those blog post articles anyway, so I just decided to do it live. If you have any questions while I'm doing something, if you need help with Neovim related stuff regarding your setup, Markdown configuration, or something, or if you have questions about something that I'm doing, just let me know. Just send me a message in the chat. I have the chat right here so I can see what's going on. So I started already in the previous stream creating this. I have a template in which that allows me to add a base when I start creating a blog post. Let me show you real quick. Let's say that I create a new file here, right? I'm just gonna name this testing.md. Just gonna save this file. And if I use a snippet that I have, blog post template, if I accept this, you're gonna notice that a lot of information is added, right? So I just can give it a title, description, and add the categories, the rest of the stuff. All of this is added automatically by that snippet. So that's what I have done so far. I added the snippet and I'm starting to fill out the information that you see here, right? So I'm just going to delete this test file that I created right now, and let me continue here, which is where I started. You should be able to listen to the video. I'm following this video. This is the one that I'm creating the article for. Notice the title of this video is the same title that you see here. And the description, I also grabbed it from here, just the first paragraph. So when I play this, you should be able to hear it on your side. I would appreciate it if you could let me know if the audio works when I play the video. I just did right now. Notice here that it says synced with iCloud. That happens automatically because of the place in which I store the notes. If I come here to my terminal, and let me switch to another TMUX session right now, it's let me see in OBS. Seems that you can listen to that as well, but let me know if you cannot, right? Skitty, this one, and this is the same file that I have on the right. Notice where this file is stored. You can see that at the top of the screen. This is in Apple Cloud Docs, GitHub, skitty-notes.md. So because I'm storing this in this specific directory, which is a location or which is a directory that I sync with iCloud, if I open that same directory in another computer and I'm also logged into iCloud, the notes are gonna be synced. So if in this file, I open Finder, I have a key map leader F capital. All right, so this is something that changed. Compare to what I show here in the video. I was storing this skitty-notes.md file in iCloud, but that generates a lot of issues because I have two computers, right? So it just wasn't working well with GitHub because I'm also tracking this in GitHub. I have a private repo in which I sync this and all these nodes too, right? So that's something that I did change. This file does not live in iCloud anymore. And if you're gonna be following this, I would highly recommend you to not keep it in iCloud because I keep it in GitHub. I prefer to track it, right? I just prefer to have it under version control in case I need to go back and see what I had, I don't know, a few days ago or a few commits before. I can do that in GitHub. I cannot do it in iCloud. If I mess it up in iCloud, I cannot restore this to a previous version. So my personal recommendation, do not keep it in Apple in iCloud, but instead just keep it in GitHub. Notice where this file lives now. If I come here Let me just get out of here. Let me look for it. Skitty. Is this the one? Oh, yeah. Here it is. So notice that it lives in the GitHub folder. Inside that GitHub folder, you have the skitty directory, and here are the different files, right? This is the one that you're looking at right now, supporters, which is the one that you see on the right hand side, but I have different ones, right? Skitty-notes. So I don't have it in iCloud anymore. That's just something that I'm going to warn users about here. By the skitty-notes name. And that was basically it. Where create a private repo and a script that auto pushes changes similar to the Git plugin, I think it was called. Git plugin and Obsidian. Do I still have Obsidian installed? I do. Let's see what that plugin was. Go to settings here. Where are the plugins? Community plugins. Git, yeah, similar to the Git plugin. Gonna close this. Auto pushes. iCloud. Okay. I did have the file in iCloud, and also at the same time I was tracking it in GitHub. It was getting some GitHub errors or some Git errors. Where did I leave those? I remember writing that somewhere. Let me see. Okay, I think I know where that is. Kitty. No, in the kitty. I think I did it in the kitty config file. iCloud. iCloud. Oh, you know what? In the auto push, I think I left a note here. Yep, here it is. This is the error that I was getting. This is the auto push GitHub script. So I was getting this fail resource deadlock avoided. So I just decided to take the file away from iCloud. Don't keep it in iCloud, Google Drive, or other ones because I assume the same thing is gonna happen. And I just left it in the other one that I showed you here. Notice the path, GitHub, skitty. So it's not in iCloud, right? So that's the reason why I took it out of iCloud. So I'm just going to specify that here. Was getting GitHub error. All right.
Capital O. Notice that Finder was open. And you can see here at the very top that this is in mobile documents, iCloud Drive, GitHub, Skitty. So that's why I left here that it's synced with iCloud. So let me mark this task as done.
Something that I was doing at the previous stream, I just wanted to take a screenshot of this macOS app stickies. Here it is. Just gonna type something here. Heading 1, heading 2. They don't. If I type enter here, notice that it does not take me to the next bullet point, which is not a bullet point at all, right? So it's just basically a text application. It doesn't have any markdown functionality. It sucks big time, right? So if you're used to Neovim, you're gonna hate that app, right? So notice that if I type here O, it's just automatically going to create another task below, right? So that's extremely useful. I can use my motions here. I can move stuff around. I can fold this. Notice that I just fold it. I can unfold everything really easily. Oh, just wanted to give a quick shout out to my members. So far, these are the YouTube members that I have. Notice that I have two sections here. YouTube members, the Discord membership. Jared was the first member ever. Thank you very much. Agwin, yes, I'm not pronouncing that correctly. Joined it yesterday. Discord. Also, we have another member here. And the people that has donated in coffee, I don't know how to pronounce that as well, are listed here. Just wanted to say thanks to everyone for the support. I really appreciate it. See if the stream still works. Yeah, seems that it's still working. Let me know if it stops working for a reason or something. So I'm just going to fold headings. So notice you get a lot of benefits, right, by having this skitty-notes app. And it's just a way of managing all your different tasks. But just want to take a screenshot here. Just to show people what the alternative is, right? The Apple or the macOS alternative. I'm a huge macOS fan, you know, but you just have to be realistic. This sucks big time. Would be nice if it would have at least Markdown support, you know. I could probably live with it. No, I couldn't because I don't have Vim motions. So no, that's why I decided to come up with this, what you see on the right hand side. So just leave a screen. Let's just leave a screenshot here. If you're on Mac OS, Alt 1, no image in clipboard. Here's the image. Just gonna paste the image here. Alt 1. Is it a thumbnail image? It's not. Give it a name. macOS stickies. That's the name that I'm going to give to this image. macOS stickies app. Stickies app. This even support Markdown formatting, let alone emotions. Works as a basic, not useful sticky notes app. If we go to see how this looks now, okay, that image is a little bit too big. Let's make it smaller. That's what she said. There we go. 300, maybe a little bit less. 50. Notice that this is not live, right? Notice the address here, chirpy.home.linkparsu.com. There it is. Once I'm ready to send or push these changes, I'm just going to send them to GitHub, and you'll be able to see it live. But if you go right now, if you're following the stream and you go to my blog post, which is this one, you will not be able to see it there yet. I'm just gonna show you what happens, right? So it's looking good here, and I just wanted to leave that alternative there. Configure it.
And now I'm going to take you through the configuration. If I come here to my .files latest repo, you're going to notice that I have my kitty.conf file open. This is just the kitty configuration.
Gonna add a heading here. Configure. I think this is the kitty section. You know what? Let's create a markdown heading. Configure kitty notes. And we're going to leave a markdown 3 heading here. Figure kitty.
Configuration file. Again, you can see the name of each one of the files that I'm working on this video and in most of my other videos here at the top. So just in case you don't know what I'm working on, look at the path at the top. So what makes all of this possible is the command that you see here. I'm opening a shell in bash and I'm executing the command inside here. First of all, notice that I'm adding this opt homebrew bin to my path or to the path so that Neovim is available for this command and that it works, right? So whatever you have Neovim in the rest of your packages, make sure that you export that here first. Notice that I'm already using a quote here, so that's why I'm escaping this other quote in here. That's why you see this symbol here, and that's why you also see the symbol here. So after that, we're passing an environment variable to Neovim. We do that with this export command. The environment variable is this Neovim mode, and I'm passing the value skitty. After that, I'm specifying the position in which I want kitty to be opened, and I do that with this script. Notice that I'm calling this script kitty-pos.sh. It's just a kitty position. So when this script is executed, just sets kitty of a specific size and in a specific place. I'm gonna open this with Neovim. If I press GX here, it's gonna open it, and you won't be able to tell here. This is done with my window manager. I'm on macOS. I use Yabai, and this is the only thing that it does. It falls under this condition depending on the screen that I'm working on. I put kitty on different places. If I'm working on the laptop, it's this. If I'm creating shorts, it's this, and this is for the computer that I'm on right now. Notice here on the right hand side, this is what sets the position on the screen, and this below.
Okay, let's take some notes here. This is gonna be useful for the blog post. If we go to kitty, this is my kitty configuration file. That's what I was going through the video. There's some changes that have happened since I created this video. I'm not sure how to manage that because I probably need to create another video explaining those changes. So I'm not sure if let's just include the new changes there in the blog post. Okay, so people have the latest version there. When I open kitty, I want it to automatically specific markdown file of him. this first. Use on Neovim socket. Okay, these notes are gonna be useful here. Gonna grab this. Got any of them? What else we have here? Okay, so as you can tell, I'm using this socket command here, which allows me to update Lualine. I'm just gonna perform a change here, right? So I'm just going to add something here, testing new task, for example. So you're gonna notice what happens in Lualine. Notice that there's a +1, right? So that means that there's one change that I need to push to GitHub. The problem is that once my auto push script executes, which is this one here, Lualine is not updated, right? So this one stays there all the time. So what I did is this create a socket, as you can see here, as you can read here, right? Starting Neovim with this listen flag to create a socket here. And this is what allows the script to trigger a buffer write, just writes the file, and that is what refreshes Lualine, right? So if I send a message right now, let's try that real quick. To test the socket, notice that I left a command here, right? So if I send this from anywhere else, basically, notice that I'm sending it to the server that I started, right? I should see this notification here. And you notice socket test successful, right? That's the message that you saw there. So when my auto push script, I just write the file, and so that basically Lualine is refreshed. That's the only reason why I did this socket thing. Where is it? Yep, here. Listen, temporary skitty-notes socket. So that's why I started it with this listen flag. I also have to remove that socket. Notice that I do that here, remove the file. Because if you don't clean that up before, it's just not gonna work, right? So I just clean it up and here I execute it. Export path variable is just so that my commands are available, like Neovim are found. Otherwise, this is not going to work. Export Neovim mode, we're gonna look at that in a little while. And this is the file. Oh no, this is the one that specifies the position where this is going to be opened. skitty-position.sh. You notice this is opened in this specific place all the time. I can move it around, right? So notice that I can move it around. There's no problem there. If I quit Kitty right now, just gonna quit out of here. And if I open Kitty again, this script is going to position Kitty in this place and is going to open it of that specific size. So if I just open Kitty, notice what happens. It puts it there, right? And my Markdown headings are folded. It opens this skitty-notes.md file because that's the one that I specified here, skitty-notes.md, right? I can switch to the file that I was on right now, which is supporters. Notice that my auto push script has not kicked in yet, but you're just gonna notice that this number 1 disappears when the auto push kicks in. So that means that the changes were pushed. So I just need to explain that here. Also need to explain about the export. I have the notes here. Actually, you know what? All of this is already documented, so I don't need to do it again. I'm just going to open this file in GitHub, and I'm just going to refer them to this file, right? So if I just copy this path, all the other settings and flags are in my .files. So go and read the comments this file to understand more. And is the link. So that's the link to the Kitty configuration file. So all you need to do is just go to this file and you're gonna see what I was talking about right now. Where's the command? Here. Yeah, here it is. Yep. Doesn't look good here because of formatting, but notice all the notes that I left there, which is basically what we're looking at here, right? There's the test command in case that you want to test that. I'm just going to explain some other stuff that does not show up there. I already explained this, the export, we already explained it. Neovim mode, we're gonna cover that in a little while. Let's see what's next in the video.
Gonna open this with Neovim. If I press GX here, it's gonna open it, and you will be able to tell here. This is done with my window manager. I'm on macOS. I use Yabai, and this is the only thing that it does. It falls under this condition depending on the screen that I'm working on. I put Kitty on different places. If I'm working on the laptop, it's this. If I'm creating shorts, it's this, and this is for the computer that I'm on right now. Notice here on the right hand side, this is what sets the position on the screen, and this below is what sets the size of the application. In case that you want to know the position and size of a specific application, notice that I left a command here, and you can run this. So you can place Kitty where you want it to open first, then run this command, and you will get the values that you need. Okay, so let's go back to Ghosty. If you want to know why when I pressed...
Okay, let's document this. Configure Kitty. This is going to be here in the same read the heading below. Understand how to open Kitty in the same Okay, so this is the one. Notice that in the and above there's this section. This one. Okay, so Akwin sent a message. I just finished setting up skitty-notes. By the way, how can I create a to-do list like yours? A Markdown plugin, right? Yep, you do need to create, you don't need to have a Markdown plugin. My Markdown setup is very, how can I say it? It has a lot of stuff. I have a lot of stuff going on, right? So I explain all of it in detail. If you wanna get this, what I have here, there's a lot of plugins going on here. Notice the headings, how they look, these tasks, right? How I create the tasks and all that. So I would highly recommend you to check this video out. It's a little bit long. This one, my complete Neovim Markdown setup and workflow in 2025. There, I just show you how to download my configuration. You just need to run a couple commands to test it out and give it a go, right? So try it out, see if you like it or not, then you can create your own config. But if you want to have a starting point, just check this video out and you'll find all of the details there. And of course, you're in Discord. If you have any questions, remember, just reach out via Discord and I'll be more than glad. Oh, the laid off part. Yeah, I did cover that in the first stream, which was a total failure. So I just deleted that stream and I started again. So yeah, 3 days ago, I was laid off from the company that I was working for. I had been there for 7 years, approximately. Well, a little bit less than 7 years, 6 years and a half. And there's a lot of reorganizations going on at the moment. I'm not sure if it's still happening across all the different companies, but yeah, was basically due to a reorg, was laid off, and I'll see what I'll do next. I don't know. I'm not going to. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I just want to take some time for me doing what I like, which is creating videos. I'm not gonna live off of this yet, I think, because but we'll see. I'm going to start looking in a few months and see what comes up. But for now, I just want to do what I like for some time at least. So let's see. Let's continue here. This section. Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Yusuf. Appreciate it. This script is the that allows me to open Kitty in a specific section on my screen. And I always want to open it with the same size. So if I type here, notice that I'm going to type here GX, that is going to open it in Neovim, the same way that I did in the video, right? And you're gonna notice that this file basically tells Kitty, depending on my resolution. This is my monitor. Which one is my monitor? No, this is my MacBook Pro, and this is my monitor. This one right here, right? So this just tells Kitty to open in a specific position. Here's the position, and here is the size. The screen broke. Yeah. My wife has a M1 Air as well, a 13-inch. I like it a lot. It's pretty small, doesn't weigh anything. So I'm using a Mac Mini with an external monitor. I do want to get a laptop. You have the same one. Yeah. She has the golden one. Well, looks pink actually. I don't know why they call it golden or gold, whatever the color is, but it's basically pink for me. So this resize just specifies, like the word says, the size, right? Do you have to manually figure out like what size and position this is? No, you don't. Notice that I left a command here at the very top, right? So if I just grab this command from here to here, I'm going to get the dimensions and the position for this app for Kitty, right? So if I come to the terminal here, I can toggle the terminal. No, let's do it here. And if I just paste that there, notice 1369.39. What I have here. Where is it? Here. Oh, I have it in Neovim. Hold on, that's why. 1369.39. 1369.39 to 31,400. 31,400, right? So this script is the one that places applications in different parts of my screen. I also do that with this, notice Google Chrome, which is the chat that you can see here, right? So I did the same thing that I did for Kitty, but with this chat there. So that's what this part does. This kitty.pos.sh script just places it there. The way that this is done is with Yabai, right? So if you use a different window manager, most people don't use Yabai anymore. Everyone switched to the new kid on the block, which is Aerospace. I haven't yet because Yabai allows me to have my apps transparent. Notice this one here. Yabai is transparent, right? I do this with Yabai. And I don't partition my screen. Notice that this is Neovim, this is Ghosty, it's occupying the entire screen. This on the right hand side is the padding section of Yabai, right? So notice that the command brand here is Yabai, and it moves it and resizes it. So if you're using Yabai, this is going to work for you. If you're using Aerospace, this is not going to work for you. Aquin already suggested an idea in Discord. If you come here to Discord, video suggestions, for me to do this, what I do with Yabai, to do it with Aerospace. And it's a pretty good idea, actually. I think I will do that. I need to install Aerospace. I need to set it up. I don't want to be honest, because that takes some time, but I will. And I'm gonna show you how to do all this with Aerospace as well. But if you want to get it working for now, you could use Yabai the way that I do at the moment, right? So just keep that in mind. Yabai is the one that positions and resizes the skitty-notes app on the right hand side. So I'm just gonna leave that in the blog post. This is use Yabai. and also resize it. This is what we have in Neovim here. These two. Those are the only one that you need actually. Those two. Oh no, this is, what is this? Oh yeah, hash. Notes. The autosave was not working, so I just restarted. And also resize it. But what else do you need to know from here? I think that's basically it. Just remember to make your script executable. Any faults, use they haven't tested it yet. Some features I will. How to make aerospace. Just remember about this. Make this script executable, otherwise this is not gonna work. Notice here in Neovim, it's executable. I have that in Lualine, so I can tell if a script is executable or not. I have a key map, leader FX, I think it was. Yeah, remove the executable permission, right? So leader FX makes it executable. Just toggle it basically. Let's continue with the
Press
video.
GX on that path. It opened the file.
If the stream does not work properly, let me know. I'm trying to monitor it here, but if you see that it's stuck or something, because it happened the previous stream, just let me know in the chat.
In Neovim, I have a video. You will be able to find this video here. I released it 6 days ago, and I explain all of this there. So go and check it out. I'm pretty sure that you're going to love Neovim because it definitely has some use cases. All right, so that's what specifies the position. After specifying the position, the only thing I do here is specify which Neovim configuration I want to open, which is this Neovim, which is my setup. And after specifying this nvim app name environment variable, I open the file. Here is the location in iCloud, and here is the name of the note, skitty-notes.md. That's just the mark.
Remember, if you're just joining the stream right now, do not save this in iCloud. I explain why at the beginning of the stream, so just go and check that part again. I don't have it in iCloud anymore. If we go to my dotfiles, and if we go to the Kitty configuration file, notice where this file lives now. GitHub, skitty-notes.md, because you're gonna have issues. I'm also explaining that here in the blog post, right? So if you don't want to go and rewatch the whole thing, just read this section here.
Markdown file that you see here on the right hand side. So this is the command that basically takes care of everything. Now let me show you how I configure Neovim for this. Let me first search for the init.lua file, and here.
Okay. What was the heading here? Environment variable. This.
Let me first search for the init.lua file. And here in this file, you're going to notice at the very top that I set this global variable. I called it Neovim mode, and it comes from the environment variable Neovim mode that we passed from Kitty. So this Neovim mode variable is used everywhere else in Neovim to deactivate plugins, to activate plugins, depending on the Neovim mode.
Hey, ni hao, I'm from Guatemala. It's a country right below Mexico. Yeah. Let me show you real quick. Where that is here. Well, why does it show the United States when you type America? It's right here. This little piece here, right in the middle of America. I encountered an environment node not found error because I used Neovim to install node instead of brew. The shell script. Okay, great. Glad it worked. Yeah, I've been speaking in English for, I don't know, a lot of years, so I just got used to the language already. I don't know, people say that I sound like a Native American, you know. I don't know. I don't know. But let's see, let's continue here because I'll have to leave in a few minutes, I guess. I'll try to do as much as possible. Otherwise, I'll continue streaming later on and we can continue with this. But here Neovim. Okay, let's see.
Mode. At the very bottom of the file, you're going to notice that I left this other delay because if I didn't add this, whenever I opened skitty-notes,
Thanks, Lisa. Appreciate it.
or Kitty, I would get this message, press enter or type command to continue. I just added.
Also, if you guys want to join Discord, the ones that are here on the stream right now, I'm going to leave this in the chat. It's not open to the public yet, but I'm gonna share a link here. I'm eventually I'm planning on opening this for everyone. If you become a YouTube member, you have some additional benefits, you know, but everyone can chat here, ask questions, collaborate with others, meet other folks. Where is this thing? I don't know. Here I think. Bytes. I create one. Copy. So in case that you, what the? Is it because of streamer mode? Yeah, it's because of streamer mode. Hold on. I'm new to Discord, so I don't know about any of this. Okay. Invites. Just gonna clear these two. And I'm going to create a new one for hours. Generate a new link. Copy. In case that you guys want to join. Why are there two links there? I have no idea, but whatever. All right, so let's continue here. Just in case that you guys want to join Discord. Where was I?
Added a delay there without doing anything for.
Okay. Init.lua file is the first one. that we're passing an environment variable kitty. The environment variable that we're passing is Neovim mode skitty, right? Notice the export here, right? This command, we're just passing this Neovim mode skitty environment variable. We use that in Neovim to modify the behavior on skitty-notes. I want some plugins to do things differently here in skitty-notes compared to the plugin, to how the plugin behaves in my normal Neovim configuration. Notice how Lualine looks here, right? It has all my different items in Lualine. I don't want that in skitty-notes, right? I don't want to have all those different things in there. So if I delete this task that I created, or let me mark it as done, right? Notice that it moved it to this completed tasks section. This is part of skitty-notes, right? So I just did Alt X, it did that here, marked it as done. Notice how Lualine works here is different. It's the same Neovim configuration, the one that I have here on the left, same configuration that I have here on the right, except that some things change. Lualine being one of them. I don't want this entire stuff there in Lualine because I honestly don't need it. The only thing that I need there is this. So that's what this variable is for. This one, export Neovim mode skitty. That this variable is the one that allows us to control all that stuff. So if we come here, kitty, and we're declaring this variable here in Neovim, right? It's just called Neovim mode. And this global variable is the one that we're gonna use, right? So we're just grabbing what we get from kitty, from the kitty command. When we run kitty, we get that variable exported, and we just declare it in Neovim here. And we're gonna use that to modify our configuration. So how do I explain that here? I use this to modify the skitty-notes configuration. For example, Lualine. In my first hold on. Oh shit. I opened WhatsApp and I opened it in the wrong screen. Hold on. Didn't see anything. Didn't see anything. Display. Oh, yeah, that's the right one. All right, let's continue here. Hold on, just give me a second. Give me a second. I'll be right back. The wife's calling. Hold on. All right, I'm back. I hope this still works and that the stream is still going on. Let me check here real quick. If you can hear me, if you could, well, if there's someone in there and you can hear me, just please let me know. So let's continue. I'm just gonna use this that I have here. Yeah, this is useful. You can print the environment variable if you wanted to, just to make sure that you're getting it right, just to confirm. If I grab this, I come back here, well, Neovim here, I paste it, notice that I don't have anything here. And let's see if we do it here. Notice the environment variable here, it prints. Let me do it again. Notice on the bottom right corner, right? Skitty. So we can confirm, or you can confirm, that the actual that the variable is actually being passed from Skitty, from Kitty, right? So that's but that's what we did there. And also in the, we need to add this. And the same. I added this. Notice that I left a comment there so you understand what's going on. If I don't add it, every time that I open skitty-notes on the right hand side, I would get this message, press enter or type command to continue, right? So I'm just adding a delay here of 100 milliseconds, and that seems to have solved it. If you know a better way, would appreciate it if you can let me know how. But the rest of it is not related to skitty-notes. Let's go back to the video.
0.5 seconds, and that basically took care of everything. I'm not sure why that happens, but this is how I fixed it. But if you know why that happens, just let me know down in the comments.
This is a heading. Here. Third heading. Modify Neovim mode.
Okay, so this is the first file that I modified. Let me show you the rest of the files real quick. I left a note here so that you can find all the files that I modified. So the only thing that you need to do is to search for this, what is in quotes here. Just gonna copy this. I'm gonna type here leader SG to search. I'm gonna paste this. And here you will be able to see all the different files in which I modified something. We already looked at the kitty.conf file. We already took care of that. This is the same kitty.conf file. The init.lua file is what we were looking at right now. So I'm just gonna keep going down here a little bit more. This is still the init.lua. Here is image clip.lua. Notice here on the right hand side, if the Neovim mode is skitty, I set this third path to IMG. Otherwise, if I'm not in this skitty mode, I just set the dirt path to this. So what is this used for then? Let me take a screenshot here real quick. Just gonna select this, gonna take the screenshot here, and I'm going to go to skitty-notes, and I'm just going to add this image. Let me add it at the very bottom of the file. I don't wanna have it at the top. So I'm just gonna type here, Alt-A, is gonna paste the image there. Notice that it did paste it. That's a nice thing about this too, that I can view images in the notes if I need to. And let's see where this image was stored. If I open the images, here is the directory img. It's because of the condition that I just showed you a minute ago. I want the images to be here only when in this skitty-notes app. If you want to learn how to view and paste images in Neovim, I have a video. It's 7 months old, but in this video I teach basically everything that I know about images in Neovim. Go and check it out. It's a little bit long, but I cover 2 plugins and I explain everything in detail. So with this, I just want to show you how you can modify plugin configuration depending on this Neovim mode variable, so you can do different things. Okay, so let's go back here. I'm just gonna search for this again, image clip.lua. This is another option. This just sets the template, just modified something there depending on the configuration.
All right. Let's go here to the dotfiles playlist. I'm just going to look for image clip. Here's the file. Notice that I'm going to search here for kitty. Just gonna copy the path to this file. Is this one. Look at the configuration below. So if the Neovim mode is skitty means I'm running the skitty-notes app. Set the image directory to img. Let's see, where are the images here? Let's paste an image here. Just gonna take a screenshot of the chat, right? Just to give you an idea. Up there, and I'm just going to paste the image. Alt A, pasted the image. Notice where the image was pasted in this directory, image, and it's in there, right? But that is not the case if I am not using skitty-notes, right? If I am in a different file, this is what I want to use. So only when I'm in skitty-notes here, I want to store the images in this directory, img. Otherwise, store them here. So for example, if I jump to my Obsidian directory here, and where's the file that has images? Markdown, test Markdown. Notice where the images are stored. This is test Markdown, so its images are stored here. Test Markdown dash image. That's basically what this does, right? Notice that it adds here the image at the end. But I don't want that in skitty-notes because it would be too, the name of the directory would be too long, and the name of the image here would be way longer as well, right? So notice that right now the name of the image is still quite a bit long. So that's why I just decided to store it here in the image directory. You can use the same setting or not, it's up to you, right? But that's just to give you an example on how you can modify the behavior of a plugin depending on the global variable. You can also disable plugins, which is what we're going to look at right now.
If we look at this dashboard plugin as well, you're going to notice that I have it disabled. So if the Neovim mode is skitty, I disable the plugin. And you can see that here. Notice that it's enabled conditionally, only if it's not skitty. The same thing if we scroll up here a little bit more for Copilot chat, you're going to notice that it's enabled only conditionally. So if in skitty, I don't need the chat, I disable it. Let's keep scrolling down here a little bit more. Same for Lua line. I don't need Lua line. In this configuration, disable it. Let's keep scrolling down here a little bit more.
Let's give that a try. Let's open one. Pilot chat, was that the one? Yep, here. So just going to document this then. I'm just gonna leave this whole thing, this part, the blog post. Modify plugin settings. Hey, Roman. Thanks for joining. If you guys don't know about Roman, he also creates YouTube videos, programming related stuff. Go and check out his channel. Pretty good content there. So yeah, I was let go 3 days ago. It's all good, you know. I'm deciding what to do next. In the meantime, while I search for something new, I'm just doing what I like, which is sharing the knowledge, you know, and sharing the stuff that I know. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you guys posted. Disable some plugins for skitty-notes. I'm gonna paste this here. What is? I don't need the I want to disable it. Notice how I do that below. Okay, that is in case that you want to disable some plugins for the skitty-notes app.
Or same for Lualign. I don't need Lualign in this configuration.
I didn't need Lualign in the video, but I do need Lualign now, right? Based on what I explained a moment ago, notice that it disappeared, right? So Lualign has been refreshed. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, you will probably want to rewatch the stream later on, but I can update Lualign from the outside, right? Creating a socket. Hey, Roman, really appreciate it, man. It's the first super on a live stream. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. So notice that I'm going to, I'm supposed to get notifications when someone donates something. I don't know how notifications work. I don't know how streaming works. I'm just kind of improvising here. But I did see it in the chat here. That's great. So yeah, Roman, really appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Notice that I'm going to delete this image. I don't need it. It's just a test, right? Notice what's gonna happen to Lua line as a -1 because I deleted a line now. So in the video, I didn't use Lua line yet because I didn't know how to dynamically modify Lua line from outside of Neovim. I know how, so that's why I just decided to enable Lua line for the plugin for skitty-notes. So if we look for Lua line here, you're gonna notice Lua line.lua. Yeah, skitty, that's what we're looking for. Notice here, if the mode is skitty, notice that I'm disabling basically everything, right? A, B, C sections are blank. And also the Y and Z sections in Lua line are blank. The only section that I'm leaving is section X, which is the one shown here on the right-hand side. And adding the Git icons, basically, right? So if the mode is skitty, do this. Otherwise, here is the rest of my configuration, right? Notice this else here, and everything under this else is what you see in my normal, my regular Lua line. If you wanna add more stuff on the right in the different sections here in your skitty-notes Lua line, you can do that there as well. I'm just going to leave that explained there in the blog post in case that someone is doing that as well. Disable 1, 2, 3, 4. Modify image clip settings. The heading 4. And I'm just going to create another one here. Heading 4. Modify align settings. Lua, just gonna paste that there. Notice below. Sections, I don't know if they're called sections or what they're called, but different or to align X, because all I want to see in skitty-notes is if I have link changes to push GitHub. Notice the else at the bottom of the or below. That means that if not in skitty notes, you will see all your line items. And using your, you notice that it disappeared. The -1 that was here, when this was auto pushed to GitHub, it disappeared from there, right? So that's that's what I use the socket for. But I explained that at the beginning of the stream, I think. It denotes you won't see all your low line items when using your regular Neovim configuration. Something that changed as well. Notice that here on the right hand side, I have that I'm moving back to the Red Pro switches. I've been using the Glove 80 for 6 months now, right? And at first it was a pain to move around with the keyboard. I was extremely slow, like, I don't know, 20 words per minute, 30 words per minute. It was painful and it was not fun to get used to it. But I did after, I don't know, a couple of weeks, maybe a couple months. I can type quite fast now, not as fast as I could type back with my Magic keyboard, which is the Apple keyboard. But I'm getting there, right? I'm getting better. But I don't know, a month ago or something, I changed the switches on the Glove 80. Blossoms. And I created this video, yeah, 1 month ago. These are the switches that my keyboard came with, the Red Pros. I switched to these Plum Blossom switches, which feel great. I love the way that these feel. They're silent, they're completely silent. These though, the Red Pros are not silent. And I don't know, I just like the feel of these a little bit more. The problem is that my fingertips started, I don't know, feeling numb, I think is the way. I used to feel like tickles on my fingertips, whatever it's called. And then my fingers started to hurt. And I was like, what's going on? I had no idea, so I just decided, okay, let's switch back to the Red Pros and let's see if that's the problem, and it was. The difference is that the Plum Blossoms are a little bit, the actuation force is a little bit higher. If we go here, Glove 80 switches, let's see, switches. Notice the Plum Blossom silent switches are 50 gram force, right? 45 plus minus 5. And the Red Pros, which are the ones that I have now, look at the color here. You can see the color. Maybe you don't see it there on the camera, but yeah, these are the Red Pros. Switched them back yesterday. They are softer. Actuation force is 35 plus minus 10, but they do feel lighter compared to these. I didn't think it was gonna make a difference, but my fingers didn't like it, right? So switch back to these and everything is back to normal. I was scared. I thought it was arthritis or something because I'm getting old, but hopefully it's not that yet. This is a different type of switch. Cherry blossoms. They're softer. Notice that these are 30 plus 10, and these are silent. I love silent switches. I decided to go with these because I thought these were gonna be too soft, but apparently my fingers are weak, right? I have weak fingers, so I should have chosen these instead of these switches. if you have experience with these cherry blossoms, just let me know how it goes. There's someone in Discord that uses these, but has been away from Discord for some time, and just ask them how the experience is with these switches. Just want to hear what his thoughts are, and we'll see. But yeah, just keep that in mind. If you're planning on getting a Glove 80 and you come from a regular Magic keyboard, right? It's pretty soft. Mm, I wouldn't recommend you to try these because your hands are gonna be weak as well. We don't have strong hands, so just go with these. Or I don't know about these. I cannot recommend these yet because I haven't tested them. I want to test them. If I can, I'll let you know out of the cherry blossom and the red pros, which are the ones that I prefer. So yeah, just wanted to let you know about that. Let's continue here. So this is for Luoline. There's a condition here, and the else at the bottom is just for the rest of the configuration. What else do I discuss
Configuration.
in
So
the
I just
video?
disable it. For the image.nvim plugin, I have some other configurations. Let me open this real quick. You're gonna notice here that only render image at cursor if the Neovim mode is skitty.
This is interesting as well. Let's go back here and let's go to the image.nvim plugin. Just going to search for skitty. And this is something that I changed. But most importantly is this, the size. This is gonna be useful. I just want the images to be smaller here, right? When I paste an image in skitty-notes, I want it to be smaller compared to an image that I can see here in my regular Neovim instance, right? Notice that these images are bigger here. If I undo the changes here, notice that this image is way smaller, and that's what I want, right? So I just configure that. Just going to redo changes there. So I did that with this that you see here. I'm just gonna leave it in the document just in case that you're following along, reading afterwards, and you just want to know the things that I changed. Modify dual line settings. I'll put this here above. Modify image. The name again. Just image.nvim. To, oh, hold on. Roman mechanical keyboard in the last October and moved from Apple's keyboard as well. Still missing keys, but it became much better. I am using silent switches as well. Cherry red silent. Ah, would be interesting to see which ones are the ones that you got, Roman. Because if you got these, yeah, actuation force is not going to. It didn't affect me. I didn't have any issues, but these did. I did feel the pain with these. So maybe you have stronger hands. All right, you're gonna find the link. But I learned the lesson. I learned it the hard way. It's a good thing that I didn't go for one of these. Right click, because these are just for strong men. Look at this, 60 plus minus 10. Or these. No, not for Apple users. We need soft stuff. uh, Cherry MX mechanical keyboard switches. Let me see. Let's see. Accept all. Where can I see? Too loud. Yeah, I don't like loud switches. I just like silent ones as well. Which one did you get though? Uh, Where's the different Cherry MX? Does it allow you to send a link or something? Products. Where can I see them? Switches. What types are available? Yeah. And the keyboard that you had before, I'm not gonna say your name right, Vitor. Was it like a regular, like diagonal keyboard, like an what is it called? Ortholinear? Which one is the ortholinear? Was it like the one that you had before? Was it diagonal or was it the straight one? Ortholinear, I think, is the straight one. A block links, okay. Yeah, but same thing happened to me. MK66. Keyboard, okay, I see. Yeah, it feels horrible when you switch to an ortholinear keyboard. Everything straight lines. It's feels horrible, but I got used to it. Now I can type quite fast. At around, I think, 100 words per minute. I don't know, 90, 100, maybe 80, 100. The link for the switches, let me see. "45 grams force." And the ones that I notice that these are 35, the ones that I use. The ones that my hand were not capable of handling is 45. And these are the ones that you're using. Seems 45. So yeah, you must have stronger hands. I couldn't, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I have no idea. But they did cause a lot of discomfort and pain in my hands. But as long as you don't experience any pain, you know, you should be good to go. All right, let's continue here. Let's continue here. And the fact that it was split as well, 60 words per minute before, fix bad habits in typing. Yeah, bad habits is something hard to get around. There's something that I do in this keyboard, and I'm not sure if I should be doing. Notice the minus sign. Notice where the minus sign is. You'll not be able to see it, but notice that it's here. I can reach the minus sign with my, what is this, ring finger. I cannot reach it with the pinky, right? I think if I follow good practices, I would have to reach that minus sign with the pinky, but it's just too difficult, man. It's just not practical. I have to stretch. Notice that I have to move my hand too much. No, so I just use my ring finger and I can get to that minus sign. The same thing for the number 0. I do these two with my ring finger. Same thing on the left hand side. I use my ring finger, and I think I should be using the pinky for these, but it's too hard to reach. For the rest of them, I do use the pinky. The one on the row below, I use it just fine. And for the letters, I use the pinky as well, but not for the number 0 and the minus. Just feels more comfortable to me, you know. Okay, let's continue here. Image that and then plugin settings. Where was I? I want to have smaller images in skitty-notes compared to my regular Neovim config. Where was it? This. Why did it add it like this? Okay. Notice below that if on skitty-notes the image size, the image is 30, but if on my regular Neovim config it's 40. Neovim config. I'm not sure why autosave stops working. This is because this is a network drive. Notice the path for this. It's a mounted directory. This is not locally on my computer because this blog post is running here. Let me show you. Is running here, Chirpy, in one of my Docker containers, one of my Docker servers, right? Right now it's running Docker 1. So I don't want to SSH into that server and modify the files there. No. So what I did is I just mounted that directory in macOS, an NFS mount basically, and I access it from here from my Mac. I don't have to SSH into the server, and that's why things act up a little bit in my blog post compared to my regular files, right? Stuff that is local. Let me quit and let's see if autosave starts working again. skitty-notes. And I was here in the disable some plugins, plugin settings, blue align image. Okay, it's 40. Yeah, that's it. Let's see what else do I cover
I have
here.
it set to false, and otherwise, if it's not this mode, it's set to true. And I have some other options configured here as well. If I look for the next words here, same thing for this max height.
If you want to see what other options I modified, just search for skitty on each one of the files and you will find them there, right? But I'm gonna cover the most important ones right now, and I'm going to document that in the blog post.
Height window percentage. I want images to be smaller in Skitty, and in my other configuration, I want them to be a little bit higher, right? So if we scroll to the next one, I have this set to this is the only other file, and this is very important. I would say the most important file that you need to keep in mind, right? So I have two places in which I modified stuff here. First of all, in this condition, if the Neovim mode is skitty, I configured some options. These two, I don't remember exactly what they do, but I think these are the ones that disable a bar that shows here at the bottom with some text. I think that is achieved by one of these two. I don't remember exactly which one. I don't need numbers in this configuration because I need all the space that I can get. I don't need relative numbers here. I don't need the sign column as well. And this is very important. The text width, I have it set to 33. I also have wrap set to false, line break set to false. I don't need a color column here in this file as well. And I configured WinBar to only show me the name of the file. Notice that that is done here. So for example, if I change to a different file here, notice that I'm using mini.files. I have a really nice video about mini.files, some advanced key maps. You can and then share it somewhere else because I copy them to my system clipboard. Or I can share files across Neovim instances or different tmux sessions using mini.files. There's a lot of stuff that I do in mini.files. If you want to learn more, check this video out. But notice here that if I open a different file, this no headings, for example, you're going to notice at the top on WinBar that the file name changed. You can see that here. So I can just quickly jump back to the other file, to the alternate file. I have a key map for that. And what else did I change here? The else is if not the skitty config. This is just for my regular Neovim configuration. And at the very bottom, I wanted to change the cursor color as well. So I left this here, GUI cursor, so that the cursor has the same color here. Notice that is the color that the Rio terminal uses because I like my cursor to stand out. I like to be able to find it easily.
Okay, this is very important. Actually, like I said in the video, one of the most important ones that you should take into account. So let me open the options.lua file. Notice that I'm using I'm not using telescope anymore. I don't know if you guys watched my video or not, but I'm using the new picker created by Folk. I'm bad with names. I don't know how to say it. Some people say it's Folky, some people say it's Okay. I don't know, man. But yeah, I'm using Snacks now. So well, Snacks comes with Lazyvim by default, but the picker does not yet. I suspect that Folky is going to switch everyone from FCF Lua to his picker anytime soon. But yep, that's what I've been using so far, and it works great. You know, I don't switch plugins just because, but I was happy with Telescope. I was not planning on moving from Telescope. The only problem that I had with Telescope is that it used to take not even a second, less than a second, maybe half a second to open it, right? So when I type space would take, I don't know, half a second maybe to show up. I lived with that for quite some time, but I tried Snacks. It opens instantly, so I just decided to switch, right? Any picker that I open opens up instantly. If I want to switch branches or do anything else. So I just decided to keep Snacks. The Snacks picker for now works wonderful. And I have a video in case that you want to know how to set it up in my config and all that. Just go through that video. So here, this is the condition that I was talking about in this file. This is the options.lua file. Here's the path to the file. So just remember, it's the same thing, right? If the Neovim mode is skitty, then modify stuff, right? Notice what is inside this if. I have several different options that I change in here, right? So let's go inside here all the way up till this else, right? So all of these settings that are inside the if apply to skitty-notes here on the right. Otherwise, for my regular Neovim, use this on the, and that's why you see the line numbers here on the left, right? So notice that relative number is set to true here for my regular Neovim, but I don't need to see I don't need to see line numbers on skitty-notes because I barely have space there, and adding numbers, the relative numbers there would just take away more space, right? So that's why you see this set to true here, but if we scroll up a little bit, you're gonna notice that it's set to false in skitty-notes. And the same thing with the rest of them. The gutter, which is the sign column that shows when you make changes, I think. This one is not shown in skitty-notes. I don't need it. This is very important. Text width, I set it to 28. Why? Because when I reach 28 characters and I'm typing to the right, it's going to switch me to the line below, right? And that's what I want. Auto formatting is gonna kick in and it's just going to fix my file. But that's why I set this to 28 here. So just keep that in mind. Set it to 28. Otherwise, I set it to something else. 80, right? Otherwise, it's set to 80 on my regular configuration. But for skitty-notes, set it to 28. In the video, I think I have this set to true. Line break. No, it's set to false. Okay. Set to false. Wrap set to false. So try with these. I leave comments, and it's not because I'm a good person, but it's because I will forget what the hell I did and why I did it. So if you see detailed comments here on things that I changed, right, and then I change them again, I leave a comment because I will forget, right? I'm not gonna remember why I set this line break to false. I don't even know right now. I have no idea. So I have to read this comment to understand why I did it. I don't want to read it. I don't care, right? But when I'm troubleshooting, it becomes pretty handy. WinBar as well, right? So notice that WinBar here shows me the name of the file here on the left, how many buffers are open, and on the right hand side, just the path to this file. But that's not the case with skitty-notes. Skitty-notes, I just want to see the name of the file, supporters.md, and link RSU on the right. So that's why you see that here, right? So where is it? The colors in bar. Okay, yeah, here. Notice that I added that there. Link RSU and the name of the file here. And I specify the color. Yep, I also load the colors. So if you don't use these colors, where is it? Where? Oh yeah, I load these colors from this other file, right? So just keep that in mind. You won't have to modify that if you don't load the colors from here. Where's this file? config.colors. Colors, here it is. And this is a file that loads the colors from from a different file, right? So this one, active color scheme. Active color scheme. This is where my colors are. So I don't use a color scheme. Well, I do use a color scheme, but I modify basically everything. Complicated, but just keep that in mind, right? And if you want to know more about that, just go and check out my color scheme selector video. But yeah, all you need to keep in mind for now is this, the options.lua file. I have some conditions here, and otherwise the else down here is just for my regular configuration. So I'm just going to leave that there in the blog post. Just gonna copy this. Not the whole thing. Just gonna leave an example there. Modify. Your config looks like babies compared to my setup. Well, no, my setup is, it's not, I don't know. People don't like the colors, but I'm going to create a new color scheme for the audience, that's the type of audience that I have, right? Because if you notice, Roman, my colors are too bright, but I have it planned already. Where do I have it? In skitty-notes? To do someday. Oh no, to do today, which never happens, right? This to do today is not a to do today, a real to do today. But I'm planning on adding some old, a variation of my colors, but for old people, because these are too bright, right? And I'm getting there. So planning on using the same colors, but maybe tone them down a little bit so they're not as bright. Because yeah, as we get older, I don't know, our eyes need something. We need to move to group box. Yeah, Catpuccine. Everyone is on Catpuccine. I used Catpuccine for quite a long time, and I still have it around, right? So I can switch to that. I don't know if it works. Dark Puccine. I hope that the stream still works. I still use Catpuccine from time to time, you know, not that often, but I still have those colors. Yeah, this is what people are using nowadays, cappuccino. It's nice, but I just got tired of it a little bit, you know. So okay, let's go back. Let's go back to where I was. Oh, so what happened right now is that I have a color scheme selector, right? If I type here hyperCN, I created some color schemes, we could say, right? So I can switch between these, right? And it's gonna switch them everywhere. It's going to even restart Neovim. So you notice that Neovim was restarted with the colors. skitty-notes was restarted as well with the colors. At the top here in sketchy bar, the colors were applied as well. In the ghosty, the colors were applied. In my starship prompt, if I go here to the prompt, if I clear the screen, you're gonna notice that the new colors are showing up there, right? So it's just combination of scripts that I created that modify the colors everywhere in my system when I switch to a different color scheme. But I have a video about that. I cover all of that in detail in that video. I don't have a blog post for that yet, but I will create one. You know, how to, and you don't need to be on macOS for this. This works in Linux because it's basically bash scripts. So where was I? It's not my fault. It's Roman's fault because he's distracting me. I'm just kidding. If you have any questions, remember, ask, right? If you want to know how I do something, if you have questions about something in my setup, just ask because it's easier for me to show you here than to send all of that in comments, and troubleshooting comments is it's a little bit more complicated. Okay, so configure kitty. Where's my options.lua file? I had added that already, didn't I? Oh, here it is. Okay, it's in here. This is where you the text width was 80 in my blur neovim config, but skitty-notes I set it to 28. It to move to the next. I'm typing. What else do I modify here? I don't need. What else? Also modify how bar looks. Lua here. I'm just going to leave some stuff there. Oh, line numbers. Notice that line numbers is set to false, right? So I don't need to see numbers there. Gutter Just gonna leave some of them. I'm not gonna leave all of them there, just so that you can have an idea, get you inspired. Notice the else at the bottom is for my regular. See, all of these in my files are in my files. Okay. What else do we
The
have
file
here?
name changed. You can see that here. So I can just quickly jump back to the other file, to the alternate file. I have a key map for that. And what else did I change here? The else is if not the skitty config. This is just for my regular Neovim configuration. And at the very bottom, I wanted to change the cursor color as well. So I left this here, GUI cursor, so that the cursor has the same color here. Notice that is the color that the Rio terminal uses, because I like my cursor to stand out. I like.
Yeah, so notice that the color as well. If you don't add this in the options file, probably when you open skitty-notes, your cursor color is going to be different, right? So just going to add that there because you may not you may miss that. And the same thing happens in Neovim, right? If I jump to Neovim, notice that the cursor is the same color. So it changes it here in Neovim and in the skitty-notes app as well, I think. Give it a try and see for yourself. So I'm just gonna add that there at the bottom. Also change the same options.lua file. Options.lua file. Lua aerospace instead of Yabai. No, Roman, I haven't switched to aerospace yet. There's a few reasons. One, I like my terminal to be transparent. I just got used to it. And when it's not transparent, I don't know, I just cannot focus that well because I just see a black screen and it's too strong for me. I don't know how to explain it. I just got used to the transparency on the terminal. Notice that it's not like a lot, it's just a little bit, but you can still see through the terminal. The rest of my applications are not transparent, even though they could, I could set them transparent if I wanted to. Spotify, for example, is transparent, but that's one of the reasons. You can still make your terminal transparent through Ghosty. I noticed in Discord, a user, that's the way that manages transparency, but I don't want to deal with transparency in the terminal or in Neovim or in any other application. So I just manage transparency in the window manager, which is Yabai, and I don't worry about anything else. I don't have to worry about Neovim configuration to set it transparent. No, notice that Neovim is transparent, right? If I quit Neovim outside in my terminal, it's also going to be transparent as well. So that's, I would say, the main reason why I still use Yabai. And also notice the mode that I use the window manager on. When I switch to another app, notice that there's only one application on the screen, right? So it doesn't matter what application I switch to. If I switch to Neovim, for example, it's just Neovim on the on the screen. And everything is on the same desktop. If I open this thing in macOS here, you're gonna notice that all of my applications are in desktop 1. I don't manage applications. I actually don't like that. I just have all of them in there and I just switch to each one of the apps using keyboard shortcuts, right? So in aerospace, you have to, well, if you use the partitioning mode, I guess it's called BSP mode, you have to organize applications in workspaces. So you decide where each application, no, I don't want that. I don't like that. I just don't, no. I don't want to go through all that. So if I switch to aerospace, I wouldn't be using it to its fullest because this is the way that I like to manage stuff. I'm pretty efficient. I'm quite fast already. I got used to this workflow, but I will release an aerospace video explaining users how to use skitty-notes in aerospace. Someday, I'll release that video someday. What do you use? Do you use Yabai aerospace, or you don't use a window manager at all? Aerospace. Okay, yeah. Everyone is using aerospace except for me, and everyone's been telling me to use aerospace, but I don't like switching to another app or just because, but yeah, yeah, it's a little bit buggy. That's what I've heard, that when you have a lot of different applications in their workspaces, it tends to be a little bit buggy and slow based on what I remember that people said in the comments. Yeah, and that's the thing with with Yabai, that you have to disable zip if you want to have transparency enabled. It depends. It depends. In my work computer, I had Yabai installed. I used it the exact same way that I'm using it here. The only thing is that I didn't have transparency, but I used it in stack mode and I didn't need to disable zip. But if you use it in BSP mode, if you partition the screen, I think you have to disable zip. I don't know. I don't know. Probably. Cannot handle properly an app with fixed window size. Okay, when you don't disable zip. Okay. But I guess that you used BSP mode, right? You used to partition your screen, and yeah, aerospace. Everyone is moving to aerospace. But I'll see you coming back to Yabai, kids. You don't know what you're doing. You'll come back, you'll see. Okay, let's see. Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't do BSP mode, right? So that's why I don't have all these issues that everyone has with Yabai and aerospace. So my recommendation to everyone watching this now and in the future, just use stack mode, right? And just don't worry about workspaces. Don't worry about desktops. Don't worry about anything. Everything is here in the same desktop, and just switch to your apps with a keyboard shortcut, and that's it. But it's not for everyone. I get it. I get it. Most of the people I know like to partition the screen. I don't. But that's because I don't know. I'm influenced by the Primeagen. This is the video that started it all. Primeagen dev workflow. This one, right? He's not on macOS. He uses Linux, but he does a similar type of thing, right? A single application on the screen. He uses i3, and he just switches to the different applications using keyboard shortcuts. I wanted that in macOS, so that's the solution I came up with. So it's kind of the setup that the Primeagen has, but in macOS using Yabai, right? My terminal is still transparent, right? So, but yeah, I get it. It's not for everyone. you use one application per workspace to quickly switch workspaces. But my question is, why then? So if you use one application per workspace, why don't you use it in stack mode? Or I think in aerospace is called accordion mode. And you just do this, right? You just keep everything in the same desktop and just switch to the apps. Basically, what aerospace would be doing would be managing the app so that it occupies the entire screen. That's all that Yabai does for me. Just make the app occupy this section of the screen, right? And this other section here is just the padding section. This is if I switch to the Yabai file, right? Yabai RC, you're gonna notice here, this is for my 27-inch monitor here. This 230 that you see here is the right padding. So that's where I keep all these other stuff that I don't need to manage with Yabai. So sometimes you need to use 2 apps per workspace. One app and quick switching. Yeah, so that's when padding comes handy, you know? Because usually people just use padding to leave space between apps. That's just a waste of space, basically. It looks nice if you leave like a border around them, you know, it looks aesthetic. I don't care about aesthetic. Well, I do care, but I just care about the functionality more, right? So I can increase this if I want to something bigger, right? I can make the padding 280 if I wanted to. That is going to give me more space here on the right. But for the monitor size that I have, 230 is actually what I need. Let me drink some water. Hold on. Okay, but yeah. Space 1 is the terminal, 2 main browser, window, 3 RAM box, 4 notes, 5 secondary browser, YouTube, etc. 6 is Spotify. Yeah. But why do you need spaces, Victor? Right? Because I have YouTube here. Notice that I'm gonna switch to YouTube right now, right? Hyper A Y brings me to YouTube, right? And I'm gonna switch back to my terminal, Hyper A J. If I wanna go back to YouTube, I just hit Control. Well, I configure Control so that it sends Command Tab if I tap it, right? What if I need to switch to the other instance of YouTube? Just type this other key here, right? So I have 2 instances of YouTube here. I can switch between them really fast. What if I need 2 instances of the browser, right? Let's say that I don't know, I need to have 2 documents side by side, we could say. Let's say that I need this, right? And I need to compare it to these other switches. Just gonna take this out of there. I have the 2 instances here, right? Notice that with one key, I can switch between the 2, right? Pretty easily, pretty fast. Same thing with YouTube, right? Switch between the 2 instances. Jump back to my terminal, jump back to the browser. I just don't understand workspaces, to be honest. There is a use case if you're a web developer and you need to modify code and see what's happening on the right side instantly. I guess, you know, that could be useful in that specific case. I don't do web dev, so I cannot confirm that, but I'm pretty sure that you can still do it this way. I don't know. I would have to try it out. Oh, that's the thing. You have multiple monitors. Okay. That's another thing. That's another thing as well. In the video that I just shared about the Primegen, he talks about how he uses a single monitor as well, right? So I have a single monitor and I keep a single app on the screen at a time because it allows me to stay focused. I cannot focus on two different things at the same time. I'm in my terminal right now, and if I need to go to the browser, my attention is there. I switch back here, but I used to have a 52-inch TV in the past. It was huge, right? So each application was on the screen like this, like the way that we see here. And I used to click through applications, or in the dock, I used to click through applications in the dock, and I wasted a lot of time. I couldn't reach applications fast enough. So I just decided I'll go with one monitor. And I have been using a single monitor for, I don't know, 8 months maybe. And I don't need another monitor, to be honest. But that's me, right? Well, I do need another monitor right now that I'm streaming, because I need to see how the stream looks, right? I don't have another monitor. So I'm using my iPhone right now as a second monitor. And I'm looking at the stream on my iPhone right now. And I also need, if I need to open, for example, one password, I don't want it to open in my main monitor right now, right? Because you guys are gonna see my passwords and a lot of sensitive data. So if I open one password, yeah, it opens right now on my phone, which is the second monitor for now. But yeah, you're watching on the second monitor while working on the main monitor, while working on the main monitor, because I don't think you, well, maybe you can, maybe you can pay attention and do two things at a time, but I can't, you know. I can, my processor is an, I don't know, an Intel, a Pentium, right? A Pentium 2, right? So not multitasking for me. I can do one thing at a time. I forgot about the blog post. Notice that I'm supposed to be doing the blog post right now. I got sidetracked and I don't even know what the hell I'm doing anymore. Let's go back here. What was I doing? Okay, let's finish this. Let's finish this, or we're gonna spend here the entire day. We're fighting tests in Go. Okay. But I bet you're distracted by the stuff that I'm talking. You're not focused on your tests in Go right now. I bet you're highly distracted at the moment by having more than one monitor. Okay, the options.lua file. Okay, that's the last part. I already explained the colors here. Very good there.
I like to be able to find it easily.
How can I test this? Let's see what this is.
The easiest way that you can test this skitty-notes app or configuration would be by downloading my configuration Neovim, because it's already part of it. So if I come here to Ghosty, and if I open mini.files, you're gonna notice here, let me go to the left a little bit more. So all of the configuration is part of this Neovim folder or directory. That's where it all lives. The only thing that you would have to do after grabbing this directory is modifying your kitty startup command the way that I showed you. Do you have to use kitty? No, you can use any other terminal that allows you to set up a startup command. You could use Western there, you could use Rio. The only reason I chose kitty is because it allows me to view images. I didn't choose Western because I still use Western when I'm not using Ghosty, as it's one of my main terminals. But kitty, I don't.
This is important. Let's fold this, configure skitty-notes. I think I covered everything here, but now do I need use skitty? No, no. You can use any terminal later. The only reason I use skitty is because it allows me to view images in Neovim. And I and I actually don't use kitty or anything else. My secondary terminal, in case I need to bring it up, is Western. Oh, I love Western. I loved Western. I used it for not for too long, but comparing Kitty and Western, I loved Western so much. I miss it, but everyone is in Ghosty right now, so they have to be in Ghosty. No, just kidding. I do like Kitty. I do like Ghosty. The differences between Ghosty and Western for me. I thought it was performance because Western feels slow if you don't configure it properly. You will feel that when you're scrolling through Western, it's going to be quite slow, but it's just because of a default setting that it has. Um, but yeah, my secondary terminal is Western, but I could have used Western instead of Kitty. No issues there. You can use any terminal. One that I thought about was Rio, of using instead of Kitty here to test, but Rio did not support images in Neovim. The maintainer, pretty nice guy, reached out in Twitter and mentioned that he was going to work probably in image support in Rio in the future, you know. But that's why I decided to go with Kitty and not Rio, for example. And if it does not support images, what else did I wanted to bring up here?
I
Let me
don't
see what I
use,
said.
and it allows me to view images. So that's why I chose Kitty. If you want to learn how to get my Neovim configuration, how to download it, how to test it out.
Oh yeah, this is useful. Um, Sometimes you want to test my config, right? If you want to just test my key maps, how I paste images, do basically everything exactly the way that I'm doing it in the stream right now. You can download my config. If we go to, let's see which file, which one is it? Let's see, autosave. Yeah, I think I covered that here. Their prerequisites. Which one is the last blog post that I created? Let me see. Where is it? Here. Auto format, auto save. Yeah, this one. So I'm just gonna grab this section here from this. I'm just going to paste it here. Paste out my. That's the way that I called my setup. Neobin is not a distribution, even though it could be, but it's just the modifications that I run on top of LazyVim, which is Folky's distribution, right? So whenever Folky updates something, I try to update it as fast as possible when there's breaking changes, because I automatically update. So I find out really fast when something when there are breaking changes. So if you want to test my Neovim configuration, let me switch my color scheme back. Just gonna type here hyper CN here hyper CN. I'm just going to switch back to mine universal colors. Just don't want to use Capuchin anymore. Why did it change back? Let's see. Let's see. Colors. Supposed to restart Neovim. Let's restart Yabai. Okay, there we go. And supporters. Okay, just got used to my colors already. Yeah, the last couple of months, Lazy Vim has had a few breaking changes. I agree with that. But I trust Folk. Whenever he performs changes, it's for the good, you know. And yeah, unfortunately, we have to go through those changes. But you don't have to start troubleshooting right away, right? Whenever that happens, I just pin my Neovim configuration to the previous working version and I troubleshoot later, right? But one of those breaking changes I remember was Blink. Oh man, I spent quite some time trying to figure it out, and it is working now perfectly. And if I compare Blink to NVIM CMP, to me it feels way faster. I like the way that Blink works, right? So yeah, the other major one, what was it after Blink? Oh yeah, when we moved from Telescope to FCF Lua, that was a little bit crazy as well, right? And I guess that's why he didn't force everyone into the snacks picker yet, because people were gonna start bitching about it, right? So he left it as something optional for now. But I guess that what's gonna happen is that eventually everyone is going to move from FCF Lua to the snacks picker. So test out my Neovim config. Okay, so like I was saying, if you want to test my configuration, here's the instructions, right? Here's a video that I created, but if you don't want to watch this entire video, just run these commands, right? And you'll be able to get there. Okay. My wife is sending me a message. I'll have to drop soon. I left the instructions there. Let's see how the blog post is looking so far. I'm just gonna refresh this. This is what we have so far. If you wanna support me in keeping this blog post ad free, I left some links here if you wanna test out 1Password. That is the password manager that I use. And I used Dashlane before. I love 1Password. It's great. Comparing it to Dashlane, oh man, it's way better. And before Dashlane, I used LastPass. LastPass is the company that I worked for in the past. I remember the big outage that happened. It was crazy, right? But then LastPass separated from that company, so LastPass is a company by itself now. But comparing even 1Password to LastPass, I choose 1Password without thinking. So if you want to support me, I'm gonna leave this here so you can click on this link and sign for the 14-day trial. Give it a try, see if you like it or not. And if you want to read more about LastPass, I left an article here. So you can go through this article and I just explain, and the links, my links are there as well, right? So, okay, so the article is looking good. I'm covering all the stuff there. Here is what I just typed right now if you want to test out my config. In case that you don't even have Neovim installed, let's leave that there.
I released a video. In this video, you can download multiple configurations or distros, and my configuration Neovim is one of them. So in case that you're having issues with this, download my configuration, test it there, and it should work. Okay, so let me mark this as well.
Auto push to GitHub.
As you're able to tell as well, this file and the rest of the files that are inside this skitty directory are stored in iCloud, so I can sync them between.
Remember, they are not stored in iCloud, and I explain why in the blog post. So don't put them in iCloud, don't put them in Google Drive, don't put them in Dropbox or anything like that. If you want to track them, put them in GitHub. If you don't use GitHub, I guess you can use iCloud. It's fine, but I just prefer to track the files in GitHub.
Between computers, but that's not enough. I also push this repo to GitHub automatically every 3 minutes. I'm working on an auto push script if you come to my dotfiles latest. And if you search here for auto push, this is the one. There's a script in here. There are several things that happen, and there are some things that you need to keep in mind to make this work. If you want me to create a video about this, let me know in the comments as well. But if you don't want to wait, just read through the comments here, follow the instructions, and you won't understand what's going on, and you'll be able to figure it out yourself. Let me show you a
Okay, so regarding the auto push script, I'm not gonna cover that right now because it would take longer. But I'm gonna leave a section here. Auto push script. So where's this file? Auto push. I'm gonna copy this path. Alt C. I created this script. Remember that you can find it in my files. It automatically pushes the changes I have in skitty-notes and also in my Obsidian repo every 3 minutes. This is the file. And let's fix the spelling mistakes. I can go through the spelling mistakes if I type close square bracket and S takes me to the next one. Here I have a key map leader MSS and it accepts the first suggestion, which usually is correct. So that's why you guys see me fixing spelling mistakes that way. If you use Blink, it's a beautiful thing. If you autocomplete every time, let's say that I type here test, right? Test. I accepted this word quite a few times, so let's make it show up at the top, right? So I just accepted it right now. Test articulated. Notice that is the more times that I accept it, notice that it shows at the top right now, right? That's something that I love about Link as well. The dictionary is something new. Notice that it gives me the description for this word, and every word that I add to my spell file in Neovim is gonna show up here because I configured Blink that way, right? There's some words like, for example, let's say that I bring one of the YouTube members here. Let's say that I type here Akwin. Notice that Akwin shows up there because I added it to my dictionary, right? So you can do that with Blink. It's quite nice. Cover script. But if you want me to create a video about it, let me know in the YouTube comments. But just taking a quick look, notice that I'm doing this. I'm using this file in 2 different repos, the script, right? So where are they? Wait, where did I configure them? Logging here. Repo list, GitHub Skitty and GitHub Obsidian main. So whenever I make a change in skitty-notes, it gets automatically pushed to GitHub. Same thing if I perform a change in Obsidian. This is, well, I don't know why I call it Obsidian, because that's what I used before, but I don't use Obsidian anymore. So that's just the name of the repo, Obsidian, but it's just my notes basically, right? So when I make changes here in my notes, it automatically pushes them to GitHub every 3 minutes, and it shows me a notification in macOS. Since I'm streaming right now, macOS does not show that because it's a configuration that you can modify so that it doesn't show you notifications when you're sharing your screen, right? But that's basically what this script does for, and you can add more repos here, right? If I wanted to have a different repo that I want to auto push automatically to GitHub, I just add it here. But those are the only two that I need that for, right? The rest of them, I do want to enter each one of the commits. These two, I don't care. I don't care about the commit messages. All I care is to have the information in there and rolling back if I need to. But yeah, let's see. What else?
Show you as well what happens if I switch to a different color scheme. It is automatically applied to this
Color
skitty
scheme
notes
where we
app.
saw.
So if I type here, I press N on my keyboard, I'm going to choose a different color scheme. I'm going to choose this dark puchine, and you're going to notice that several things are going to happen right now that I pressed enter. Skitty restarted, Neovim restarted. The colors changed at the top in sketchy bar. You can see that here.
This is what we just saw in the demo right now.
The very top of the screen. The colors also changed also in Kitty, and it's all automated. So again, let me switch back to my colors, which is the one here, and you're gonna notice that a lot of keys are gonna press. It's basically a series of scripts that I created that
Thanks for joining in, Roman. I'll see you next time, and thanks for the donation, man. Really appreciate it. Does this thing show the reactions? Let me see. No? Maybe because I have the two hands? It should, right? I don't want them, they show up.
modify the colors everywhere in my system. It's a little bit advanced, but if you want to some other thing that I want to show you is that if I restart Yabai, this skitty notes app is automatically restarted as well, and it's placed in its position. What is Yabai? Is the macOS window manager. Yabai is what allows me to manage my windows, is what allows me to set the terminal transparent. If I wanted other applications like Spotify or the browser to be transparent, the most having any scenario in which I see tiling mode useful is if you're a web developer and different configuration, you already know what to do. Go and check this video out. So I just show you.
Okay, so for Yabai. I have a key map. Hold on. I have this key map here. Let's see. Where is it? Grabbing our rules. Exit. Hold on here. Restart Yabai. Oh. Start Yabai. This is the one. I'm just gonna leave this here. That restarts. That restarts. What happened to my phone? Hold on. Okay. I don't know, my phone disconnected. So this one, okay. Just gonna copy this. Carabiner element key map that restarts Yabai. Here's the script. And remember that this file is in my .files. If you want to learn more about Yabai, a video, YouTube, by configuration updates. By configuration updates. This is the video. In case that you want to find out more about Yabai.
Showed you this already. The last item that I have on the list is my dots. Just gonna press Hyper A K, and that is going to take me to my browser. I have a lot of key maps configured. I also have a video about carabiner elements, so just go and search it in my videos. All of the files that we talked about and that we looked at right now are in my .files. If you like what you find in here, if you like the skitty-notes app, just make sure that you click here the star button. I'm at 277 stars already. Everything is in my .files. My entire macOS configuration, Neovim, everything is there for you to just grab and use. So I think that I covered all of the items here in the list. I don't think I needed to cover anything else. If you have any questions, please let me know down in the comments.
Okay, so I did cover all of the stuff here. I have the drop already. I had till 12 because there's stuff that I need to do. Let's see. Yep, I'm going to push this real quick. Where is the, I need to push all of these skitty-notes. Skitty-notes initial commit. And just gonna make sure that it goes through. Blog post. Let's just give it a moment here. Let's see. What happened to my keyboard? Where did it go? Okay, successful. So we should have that in the blog post. You guys should be able to have that now. Whenever I push something new, you need to click on this update button. Why? I don't know. Someone asked. I'll find out. But yep, that's it for today. I'll probably stream tomorrow. So I'll see you guys there. Bye-bye.